Okay. Good evening and welcome. I call to order the special meeting of the Englewood Cliffs Borough Council and Mayor meeting. Today is March 20th, 2017 at 6:12 p.m. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Kranjak,
Here.
Councilperson Zaversa, E. Park,
Here.
O.
Here.
McMorrow,
Here.
M. Park,
Here.
Wu,
Here.
Borough Attorney,
Present.
Borough Administrator,
Here.
Municipal Clerk. Everyone's present, Mayor, except Councilman Aversa.
Thank you. Everybody, please stand and salute the flag of our great country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please read into the record the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given to the press and posted as required. Date and time of this meeting was legally given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. This notice is on file with the municipal clerk and posted on the bulletin board. Minutes of this meeting will be made available to the public upon the completion of typing and proofreading by the municipal clerk.
Thank you very much. We don't have anything for closed session today, so we will go down to the next part of our agenda, which is public portion. I'd like to have our Borough Council, Anne Marie Rizzuto, say a few words before we do that.
Yes, council members and members of the public, in reviewing our procedures under our bylaws and under Robert's rules as the current edition, I want to remind the council members that any matters that are not on the agenda need to be brought up during the unfinished or new business matter section rather than jumping into the very beginning of a meeting. So I'll caution you that if something is out of order on the agenda, I will interrupt and defer your statements or requests to the proper portion of the meeting. And the other thing I'd like the council members to know, which I'm sure you do know, and members of the public, and particularly with respect to any questions about the budget, the members of the public are allowed to request information, ask questions, and the council members are not required to answer or provide those answers in response to your question at the moment you may be standing up. So to eliminate back and forth discussion, and sometimes worse than discussion, I am recommending and suggesting that responses with respect to comments of the public can be made during your portion of the meeting when you give a committee report, or, for example, when we are discussing the ordinances, council members can reply to any questions about the ordinance. When we are discussing the budget, when you as a council member are responding, that is a good time to respond. But I do want to try to limit back and forth discussion because it seems to disrupt the meeting in too much of a way. So while I understand, and all the council members understand, that you're asking questions because you want answers, and I certainly think your council members may defer to their later section in the meeting, or it might have to be deferred to the next meeting if we need to gather further information about that. So thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion from a council member to open the meeting up to the public?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Haven't had a chance to review it, so I'm not going to, I really can't ask questions in regards to this, except, is there going to be a time where the public will have had a chance to review this, so we can ask questions? Would that be at the next meeting? The budget?
It'll be well, go ahead.
The next meeting is the official public hearing for the budget,
Okay.
and certainly questions can be asked then, or at any council meeting, before or after that.
Okay, so
Certainly.
that would be the next meeting.
We do have a meeting in between.
We have a meeting, okay, so I can come to that meeting. But the auditor won't be at that meeting.
Not that I know of.
Not at the 12th.
Not at the 12th.
Okay. I have a question. I want to thank you for getting back to me on my Oprah request. It was part of it. I'm still missing the part that I wanted, which was the monetary value. I did get the assessment reductions, but it doesn't equate to dollars, and it says how it will be paid. And there was only one that wasn't going to be paid via credit on future taxes, and they were going to get half of whatever that monetary amount was, it didn't say, after April 15th. So I'd just like to know where that is in this budget, because I just want to feel comfortable that it is accounted for here. So I don't know if you can answer that now. I haven't looked at the budget, so I just got it, so.
We're going to be answering everything afterwards, yeah.
Okay.
During the budget discussion, they'll answer it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard? Yes, sir.
Brian Luciano, Lord Drug. First off, I'm a little concerned that you're not going to answer questions until later on in the meeting. It seems kind of bizarre that you're going to ask questions and you're not going to be able to respond. I think if you have a response, you should respond and not wait until somewhere down the meeting. Maybe I got to leave, and then I don't get a response. I think it's ridiculous, but that's just me. I'd like to know if we established a cap bank previously. Have we utilized a cap bank in this budget? I see that you're going to do a first reading of an ordinance for a cap bank. So I'm not sure if that means that there was a cap bank previously. And are we utilizing any of the cap bank in this budget, which then changes the figures from 3.5% to whatever we're drawing down on the cap bank, if that's true, which I don't know. And I guess I don't expect an answer. Is there any way we could get a copy of, I know you guys consider it work papers, but I imagine your work papers are now done. Can I see, during your budget process, there's requests being made by department heads. I'd like to see what the requests that were made and what was finalized in the budget. Because this document isn't going to tell me that. It's going to tell me what's expensed. It's going to tell me what's reserved. It's going to not tell me that the DPW requested $500,000 to do road improvements, and you only approved 100, and I'm making up numbers. So I'm not being held to numbers, I'm just making them up. But I'd really like to know, and I think we should know, what the requests were from the department heads, so that, because maybe then we can formulate a question as to what was your thinking as to why the requests weren't authorized. And maybe there's valid reasons. And believe me, I sat up there and I appreciate everything you do. Thank you. I know it's volunteer, thankless job. But I think it's important. It's important for us as the general public and the taxpayers to know. And like I said, you get a request that might be numbers that they're pulling the rabbit out of the hat. But I think during the process, it would be nice to know. Are you going to reopen after the introduction of the budget for questions, if I'm looking at this document, or is that just an introduction and now we have to ask our questions right now,
Now is the opportunity for the public to ask questions.
even on an ordinance?
I'm sorry, the ordinance is for the cap reading? The cap,
Well, you're doing a budget introduction, a resolution, right?
right, introduction,
This is the time to ask the question.
this is the time to
Otherwise,
ask your
we have
questions.
the ordinance second reading.
Second reading is asking questions as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I've noted all 5 of your questions. And we'll address them. Is there anyone else from the public? Okay, to have a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. There was no correspondence for the period. And we're up to the first reading of 17-04 now. ordinance to exceed budget and establish cap bank. Madam Clerk, would you?
Yeah,
Okay.
First reading, ordinance to exceed budget and establish a cap bank with a public hearing on April 18, 2017. We need a motion, please.
So moved.
A second? Councilpersons E. Park,
Can I ask a question before I vote? I don't believe under Robert's rules, once
We need to defer to council.
I'm sorry, do you have a question about the ordinance?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So just so that we're on the same page.
I just want
Are
to
we-
know
are we-
procedurally. If
We're in the middle of voting.
we're in the middle of voting.
Do you want to call for discussion before you vote?
Yeah, call for
Well, we didn't do
We
that.
made a motion, we already did a motion to vote. Right, I just said, listen, we're going to follow Robert's rules. We have to
Robert's
follow
rule
Robert's
says,
rules.
once we start voting, we vote.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Do you want to defer to a discussion before that, or no?
No.
Okay.
Can I make a motion for discussion then, after the second of your motion?
You can make a motion later, but we're not entertaining the motions right now.
So you just want me to
You
vote?
could second my motion for discussion.
But we're in the middle of voting. We
No,
took the
no,
vote.
I know,
Ro-
but-
Robert's rules is you do one thing at a time. This is what we're doing right now.
Okay, so if you want me to vote without having a discussion, then I'm going to abstain from ordinance, the first ordinance.